Welcome back. From web hosting, we are moving to the module 1 and lesson 3B, which is server. We are going to, you need to learn a little about server. We are not teaching you how to configure server, just to give you basic knowledge about it. Those basic knowledge you need to start developing a website. And you can see, because some people will be saying what is server, so you can see now, so the technology behind it. This is the server, and these are the location, let me call it a computer that has queried the server or sending information to the server. So you can see it now. This is the computer and this is server. Then computer sending information to the server, then server return the information back to computer. That is telling you that whenever you are querying a server, I mean, whenever you are asking for anything from your a website, or you are browsing Google, you are asking something from Google. So what you are doing is querying the server, then server is returning the information back to you through your computer. And the other thing now is the meaning of, you need to know the meaning of server. A server is a computer. That is one thing you need to be sure of. Server is not a magic, it's a computer or a system that provides resources, data, services, or programs to other computers. So known as client computer. Maybe you are using your computer as a server. Then at Akure, then other person is using his own computer to query your own server, which is your computer from Lagos. So your computer is a server, while the person querying your server from Lagos is a client's computer seeking for information from your server. So over a network, using it, before all this information can be transferred or be interchanged between another, they need network, which is what we call internet. So this theory, whenever computers share resources with client machines, they are considered as server. I think you understand that now, so that shouldn't be a big problem for us at all. Then the number one thing we need to know here is that what types of server. There are different category or types of server, but I will show you either 4 or 5 major one here. So we have 3 here: web server, mail server, and virtual server. So a server may also be considered or designed to do a single task, such as a mail server. Like Gmail. Gmail is a website on its own, and the word Gmail is a domain, www.gmail. So Gmail is a domain, and the company is dedicated completely for mail. So their server now is a mail server, which accept, or Yahoo mail server, so which accept and store email and then provide it to a requesting client. Server may also perform several tasks, such as a file and print server, which both store file and accept print job from clients and then send them onto a network attached printer. That one is directly speaking about, let me use cafe as an example, or an office, or like a bank. If you have ever been visiting a bank, you will discover that there is a particular printer that the people who are on the counter, when they send an information, they will go to the printer and bring out the information. Those people are the customer services. They send information also, they will go and bring out the printout from the same printer. So what happened there is that they are using file server. They are using file server, and they have one workplace. So whenever they completed the typing of their work, or they want to print any file on the internet, they send it to the same server. Then the printer receive it from the server and the information will be printed out. I think that one is very easy to understand. Now, how does it work? How does a server work? Look at this image. This is a database. This is a database. Then and this is a server. This is your internet. In case your server is a database server, so I just use this one as an example for you. This is a client computer, client computer, client computer. The three of them are browsing the internet, then sending query to the server. Then the server will send query to the database. The database will return the information back to the server, back to internet, and share with the three clients computer. You can see that first step, second step, then the third step. I think that one is clear now. So to function as a server, a device must be configured to listen to requests from clients. So on network connection, this functionality can exist as part of the operating system as an installed application role, or a combination of the two. So all these things, before it can function to perform some tasks in terms of listening to the request from clients, it needs to be configured rightly. It needs to be configured rightly, and that is the reason why sometimes we don't use our local hosting applications to the system, because of the huge configuration it may involve. So instead of this, we purchase a hosting server from hosting company. So the example of this is an opaque web server response to internet browser request via an additional application. So opaque is a software installed on top of an operating system. Then the second one is that when a client require data or functionality from a server, so it sent a request over the network. Then thirdly, the server receive this request and respond with the appropriate information. That is does it. And you said you want to ask Google. You ask Google, then Google gives you the right information. Thank God the AI is now available, supersede Google. Now you send information to AI, then AI perform some tasks on this, then return the information back to you. So can you see now? So this is the request and response mode of client server networking, also known as the call and response model. You see, this is the computer and this is the server here. Computer, server here. Then the client sending information on server, you will send, you type it here, send it, you click enter, or you click go, or you click send. Go straight to the server, then server return the information back to your computer. Now, in C, which is the performances. A server will often perform numerous additional tasks as part of a single request and responses. Yes, so which is the server can perform as many as possible tasks or numerous tasks at the same time, or can be a single task or numerous tasks. So the first of it is that it verifying the identity of the requester. Someone who requests it verify. That is why sometimes you see captcha. You see captcha on your browser. It will ask you to identify yourself as not being a robot, that you are not a robot. So that is the work of a server. That is how the server is configured. Then ensuring that the client has a permission to access the data or resources requested. Sometimes you are browsing a web page and it's telling you that you are not permitted to access this information. So that is how the server is configured, and all those things are configured for security reasons, to make sure that the resources on the server are secured. And lastly here, so properly formatting and returning the required response in an expected way. The information on the server, you will format it, address it, redress it, and make it accessible to you whenever you need the information. So now we are taking all this type of server one after another so that you can gain a lot of things here. Type of server there are many type of servers that perform different functions. The first of which is file server, just like the one I told you the other time. So the file server store and distribute file. You can use it in your cafe, you can use it in your company, you can use it in bank and whatsoever. So multiple clients or users may share file store on a server. Yes, I think you in a school, in a school, yes, school compound or premises, principal may have his own computer, then VP in his own office, his own computer, then other teachers, and so then the bursar and lot more may have it. And when the thing is powered in one workplace, the computer and network together, they have one single server, so any of them can send information from any office and the printer print it out. Just a single printer. That is file server. Then centrally stored file offers easier backup of fault tolerant solution that are attempting to provide securities and integrity for file on every device in an organization. So file server hardware can be designed, it can be designed to maximize read and write speed to improve performances. So all this allow the work to be done faster in a company or factory or whatsoever business or businesses. Now the printer server, we have printer server. It's part of the explanation we are still explaining to you. So which is the second one. So this is for management and distributions of printing functionality. So rather than attaching a printer to every stations, you can see the image now. Computer B, computer A, then the printer here, USB device, then the router. This is the router that communicate the internet to the computer, then the computer A and B. Then when a job is sent to the router here, then uh, the printer prints it out without any cable connection, without any cable connection at all. I think you could understand that without any problem now. So there are lots to the issue of server. You can, if you have a business, if you don't want to spend money on hosting company, you can use local host. You power everything within your locality, within your environment, then and anyone can access your file or data or resources anywhere in the world. Now the application of server. I want to talk about the application of server. um, Which is the application of server. The application of server run applications in US of clients computer running application locally. So that is application server here. Then we have DNS server, we have web server also. So all these things are different to another. So like this DNS, the DNS now, you can see this is your computer and you, then ISP DNS server, then the web server here. Now when you send information to the web server, then the web server send to the DNS server, DNS server send information back to web server, while web server send information back to you now. So the DNS means domain name system. It means the domain name system server, so provides name resolution to client computer by converting names easily understood by humans into machine readable IP address. Just like what I told you in the, I think is in second lesson, one of the second lesson, that the IP address is the main language your computer understand. Yes, but for you to understand it and people to remember the name of your website is why the domain name is generated. That's why the domain name is generated. Then lastly, here we have web server. The web server is a special kind of application server that hosts the program and data requested by user across the internet on an internet. So web server responds to requests from browser running on client's computer. For web page or other base page services, common web server include Apache web server, Microsoft Internet Information Services, then servers, and Linux server. That is a typographic error. So this DNS server hosts domain names across everywhere in the world. Then when your domain name is not propagated on the DNS server, then possibly when users are browsing your website, it will not be accessible because it is not propagated on this one. Then the web server also is most common, that we send information, we send a request, and it return the information back to us without wasting time. I think that one is clear now. Now we have other server, which is mail server and database server. I told you the other time that server can perform multi functions and at the same time perform single functions. So the Gmail is an example of mail server. Yahoo Mail is an example of mail server. So the function the server is performing alone is for people to send message or receive messages through their email. Then the database now, mostly in some of our countries in Africa who lack a database. So the database now store the data of the users of the users So database run database applications and respond to the numerous requests from clients. So common database server applications include Oracle, Microsoft SQL Server, DB2, and Informis. So those are the example of those database that host the data of users. In addition, we have virtual server, then we have proxy server, then monitoring and management server. So all those servers are also available, but the major are the first three one I told you. So the major one are the major one are the one I told you earlier in the from the first page of this lesson. So virtual server use the virtual hardware as usual. So and the hypervisor visor faces the actual computation and storage need onto the real hardware beneath, so which is shared among all the other virtual servers. Then the proxy servers act on behalf of. Yes, a proxy server acts as an intermediary, so between an client, a server, then often used to isolate either the client or server for security purpose. So that is just that. I know you understand the word proxy. So a server that acted on behalf of another server just to protect the information from the real server. So that is about proxy server. Then the monitoring and the management server. So sub-servers exist to monitor or manage other system or clients. You understand that. This our heavily policed continent, or let me say planet, presently what they are using is server. So they use it to monitor the activities across board, like what you see with CCTV camera and lots more. So it responds to requests from monitoring clients such as those runs and network administrators watching the heads of the network. So all these things you just need to, they are not that much important to you, but you just need to have a little understanding about them so that you will not be a novice. uh, Before we move to the end of the lesson, so let's look to the examples of server operating system. Microsoft Windows Server. So Microsoft Windows Server is an operating system. Facebook itself has its own server. Google have its own server. majority of those big companies today are having their own server. So the first MS Windows Server certain computer was set to share resources and respond to requests from clients. Then the second one is Windows NT. It's NT 3.5 and 3.51 version runs on many business network. Then the third one, which is Windows Server 2016. So this version supports numerous applications and database as well as a hypervisor that allow virtual servers. So that is does it. They just use this one. We use this one as an example of those servers. You will be hearing Windows 10, Windows 11, Windows this, Windows that. So they are not just called Windows. There are server. There are technology behind it. There are server that supported all those things. So you need to understand this. You can't create. The reason why I'm just brushing this to you is that you can't create a website without having at least a basic knowledge about hosting and server. Time is coming that you be configuring server because your website cannot run on the internet without a server or a database or a hosting. No, that is just that. So and in addition, we have Linux, then Unix server, we have NetWare, we have cloud server, we have Linux, we have Unix server, then we have NetWare, we have cloud server. So let's take it from the first one. So the other major players in server operation system is Linux and Unix RAM. I've told you about Opake. You know why I'm rushing all this is because you may not be able to understand and get the root details about it. But just to let you know, you get the basic knowledge, you cast knowledge about it. So by the time you are operating with your control panel and your hosting account, you will get to know about Opake, about Nilios, about Unix RAM. Then, as an open source operating system, Linux is very popular as a web server. Yes, so often with the Opake web application server installed. So without this, you are not the one to install either Opake or the Ninios. No. You are not the one. You are just getting knowledge about the technology going on behind it. Your web hosting company are the one responsible for this. Some of them are using Linux, while some are using Opake web application server. Yes. Now the NetWare. So although it's no longer made. So NetWare was major players in the server software space as the client server era was ramping up. So eventually NetWare moved its server operating systems to Linux based kernel and named it a novel open enterprise server OES. I still remember when these so-called netware were popular. By the time the what do I call it browsing technology just came, then the netware were popular then. Now is depreciated and upgraded into the Linux based kernel system. Now cloud server, we have cloud server hosted on the third party infrastructures as on an open network such as the internet are called cloud server. I think presently Facebook is operating cloud server while Gmail also is operating cloud server. So example of this server is Google. Yes, we have Google platform, we have software Azure and IBM cloud. So you need to know this. If you want to host your websites on all these cloud server is costly. It's costly, so you need to know this. So and my best advice for you is that if you're a startup or you are developing a website for a startup, don't trouble yourself about all those big things. big technologies, just go with share hosting, or if it is a big business, you can go with dedicated server. May God bless you. Thank you.